Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hey, That's Me, a commentary podcast. I'm Patrick Hotner.
I'm Brian Lynch, and I feel weird about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
So this is a podcast where we do audio commentaries on movies or TV shows with the people who made them who never got to do audio commentaries on them. Whether that's, a costume designer or an actor or a writer or a PA even. Like, we haven't gotten to a PA yet, but I'm sure that would be fun to hear, what a PA does for people who don't work in the industry.
And they're there all the time, so they probably have great stories.
Yeah.
And usually treated like garbage.
Yes. As a person who was a PA, I can attest to that.
Same. Yeah. Although I was treated very nicely.
What was your highlight PA job?
Well, I've only had two. I was craft service, but also did production work on Chasing Amy.
Sure.
And then A Better Place. I did a lot of production assistant work. Yeah.
We have one rule, and it's that when the person sees themselves on screen or sees their credit on screen,
they have to say,
"Hey, that's me."
This is a really good one.
Yes.
This is a really good episode.
We don't even want to beat around the bush. Like, this one it was so exciting. When she said she would do it, I was thrilled, and you were in disbelief.
If she's an Oscar nominee for the movie we're watching with her.
It's Candy Clark talking about American Graffiti, a truly seminal American movie, and one that holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts because of the George Lucas connection of it all. Obviously, it's a movie that for a lot of fans is kind of an interesting curiosity, because you're like, well, what else did this guy make? And this movie is so different, but it really captures such a specific time period with a stacked cast, like a really insane cast.
And she kind of steals it from them all.
Yes.
When she's on screen.
And got a dang Oscar nomination for it.
A dang Oscar nomination.
Yes. Which it has a great story surrounding it. She talks about how that came about, and it's really fun and interesting.
She hits on a lot of movies she worked on in this one, too. We hear Blob stories.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. David Bowie stories.
Yeah.
This is a good episode.
If you haven't seen this movie before, I also recommend checking that out. But also, we talk a little bit about more American Graffiti,
which we should do next with her.
I would love it.
We haven't yet, so don't think it's coming. But it will hopefully soon.
It is a movie that has a weird reputation. We're just going to talk about more American Graffiti now. Has a weird reputation because it didn't do well at the box office, but I think is fascinating, and I like it.
It took a lot of chances. Artistically, it's a very different movie than the first one. A very different movie from any other movie.
Yeah.
It's
really interesting editing, really interesting ways of shooting it, using different film stocks and stuff for different.
But we're not here to talk about that.
We're here to talk about American Graffiti.
I can't believe we got to talk to one of the stars about it.
We should get started, right?
Let's roll it.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, here we are. We're here with Candy Clark.
Candy, were you here for the filming of this part in space?
I always looked at those letters and I thought they should be a little more polished. Look how scratched up they are, and they've always been that way.
I wonder why that's the case. How many times do you think you've seen this movie?
Probably at least 50 times.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you get
different screenings, Do
you get tired of it, or do you
never?
No. It still feels fresh.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
It's like, The Wizard of Oz or Gone with the Wind.
Now, this shot right here, I don't know if you know this. This shot has changed since the movie came out. Do you know about this? He changed the sky.
Yeah, because there was a building behind.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He got rid of an entire building?
Yes.
Cut out the building and just made it standalone Mel's Drive-In.
We should probably say he is George Lucas.
Yeah, George Lucas.
George.
The capital he.
What are the things that people ask you the most about this movie so that we don't ask you about it?
No, you ask me whatever.
Okay.
I'm not as quick as you. You just
sure.
just ask the questions and I'll respond.
Okay. Well, then, let's start with you in general. Where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in
oh no,
Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then I lived all my teenage years in Fort Worth, Texas. And the reason I could identify with this, there goes Toad, the script was because it is exactly what we did in Fort Worth, Texas.
Sure.
We went from the Lone Star Drive-In to Carlson's Drive-In, back to the Lone Star, back to Carlson's, all night long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Were you...
There's Richard.
When you... look at him kicking that car.
Why kick a car? That's really mean.
Was this downtown San Francisco?
This was, Mel's was on Mission and Van Ness.
Yeah.
And it was a drive-in that was closed basically, but
Okay.
all the stuff was still there. The menus, the banquettes, everything, but it was due to be. It might have been sold at this point. The lot. It became a parking lot,
Oh, wow.
and then I went back by it several years later, and it was a parking lot with a bank.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know what it looks like now, but 2020 hindsight,
Yeah.
that would have been the biggest tourist trap.
I know.
I go to Mel's quite often.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going
The food is so good.
There's a
And
few.
People have to be so
Yeah.
excited if you come into Mel's.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I go quite often.
That's great. I love that.
I like their patty melts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
really
kind of
good.
amazing that they're around still, and they're, in
Oh.
California, there's a
With-
handful of them.
With the help of American Graffiti,
Yeah.
they were able to expand, and they told me recently that they're going to open up a place in Nashville, which I think is perfect.
Wow.
That's
Perfect
cool.
for it. Yeah.
They have them in Universal Studios too.
They have it right in the middle of Universal
Universal
Studios now.
Studios
Yeah.
Hollywood, there's
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah.
So did you go from Ohio to Maine? Or to
Ohio.
Maine? What am I talking
What?
about? What a mess.
Do you want
Who
to take
are
a
you
nap, Patrick?
Let me
interviewing
take
now?
that again. Did you move to New York or to LA from your childhood home, or did you go somewhere else?
Did I go to New York City?
Yeah, where
Yes.
did you live?
I left Fort Worth
Yes.
about 1968, and I lived in New York City from 68 through 71,
Okay.
and I became a model,
Yeah.
and that's what I did there. And then I did some extra work
Okay.
in a film called Who is Harry? What was this? Harry Kellerman?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
why is he saying those bad things
Yeah,
about
yeah,
me?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was in
yeah.
a crowd scene of about 200 people, and there was Dustin Hoffman with this orange makeup on, but it didn't. That orange makeup didn't register on screen because I
Sure.
did see the movie and I did look for myself.
Did
and
you- can you find yourself?
there's a kind of a glimpse of
Okay.
someone but I can't see their face. I could see their outfit,
Yeah.
and I'm really nicely dressed because I was a model.
Sure.
And from there, I decided I wanted to do more extra work, and I went to a casting director's office,
Mhm.
and I handed him my picture and said, I want to do more extra work. And Fred Roos,
Yeah.
the casting director of Fat City and American Graffiti,
Yeah.
asked me, hey, you want to go with me to watch him do the screen test for The Godfather? And
Oh,
I said,
wow.
yeah.
Oh my God.
But back then, you would walk off with anyone.
Of
it
course.
was
Yeah.
pre-Manson. Okay. So I did. I went back and met Francis Coppola
It's amazing.
and watched Jimmy Caan try out for The Godfather. It
Wow.
was great. You know,
Wow.
I'm
So
like,
you were there for a good one too. It was someone who got
Yeah.
the role. It wasn't
And-
even like someone who
yeah,
didn't get it.
And from there, Fred Roos just kind of focused on me and wanted me to try out for roles in movies.
Sure.
And I was very happy being a model,
Yeah.
and he just wore me down and finally convinced me to come out to California and try out for this role in
Wow.
Fat City.
Right. Directed by
John Huston.
John
Yeah, of
Huston.
The
Crazy.
John Huston.
Right.
Oh my-
Okay.
How was working with him? Because that's
He-
very intimidating, I imagine.
No.
No?
Really?
Well,
Okay.
see, I wasn't, I was totally unintimidated
Sure.
because I had no idea who people were and who was who and what was what. And so I wasn't intimidated at all. In fact, I took a lot of snapshots and
Mhm.
pictures from that time, and I still have a scrapbook. And I have John Huston's autograph.
That's cool.
Wow.
I was like a real
That's amazing.
a real, greenhorn, and John Huston was really sweet to me,
Yeah.
even though I was a rank amateur.
Yeah.
I can't believe your first movie is John
I know.
Huston.
I
And you were like,
can't- I thought, oh, these movies are really easy to get, handed to you on a silver platter.
So what was that first time being on set? Was it different
It was fantastic.
from being a model?
And well, my first film, I thought I could model my way through it. Just
Yeah.
kind of like strike a pose,
Sure.
say some dialogue, real casual like.
Uh-huh.
And I discovered that acting was a lot more than just modeling,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
But I did meet Jeff Bridges on the screen test.
Yeah.
wow.
And had me a boyfriend right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Moved to California, gave up my apartment, and
Wow.
rest is, I'm still here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing it.
I've been in LA since 1971.
Wow.
So I love it here.
What has changed the most about LA since then? Besides
It's a
housing
lot
prices?
bigger, a lot more traffic, a lot more people like it here and want to live here because of the beautiful climate.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just, I think it's a beautiful place and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And, the cost of living is higher because, we have a lot of, anyway, it's, what about the movie?
Well, let's talk about the movie.
We're watching.
Okay,
this
so
movie is screening right in front of
Yeah.
You
in front
have
of
Fat
us.
City under your belt,
Yes, Fat City.
and then you're asked to audition for American Graffiti. Is that the next?
American Graffiti.
Is that your
yes.
next audition after Fat City?
No,
Oh, okay, there's a lot
I
in
did
between.
a room 222. There was a year
Okay.
in between.
Okay.
And I've never been good at auditions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had plenty of opportunities, but I always failed because I always would choke on an audition.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
And the reason I didn't choke on this one is because it was we were down at Dove Studios trying out, and that was Haskell Wexler's
Sure.
commercial
Mhm.
house shoot. Oh, someone pulled Toad's pants down.
Oh,
Poor
Toad.
guy. He's mortified. Look at him. He's holding his own, though. He fights back.
Sure.
He kind of drops his dismay. But anyway, there was about, I don't know, so many parts in the movie
Mhm.
that there were like lots of actors trying out.
Sure.
You could really cut the tension with, it was super tense.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Judy Strangis from room 222
Oh, yeah.
Right.
there. And I thought, she's going to get it, of course. And I went in. They had a little alcove, and there was George Lucas,
Mhm.
who is a very quiet person.
Yeah.
Haskell and me, and there was Charles Martin Smith, and they had a park bench for the car.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Huh.
And so I meet Charlie, and he's a lot shorter
Sure.
than I am.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, I'm not going to get this because he's so much taller and
Sure.
he's so much. But they hired me, and I thought that's a really good image. The short
Sure.
guy with the
Yeah.
taller girl.
It's funny.
Kind
It's
of a Mutt
comedy.
and Jeff.
Yeah.
So it worked out great.
Did you guys have immediate chemistry in the audition?
Yeah, we drove up Charlie and I drove up to San Francisco in my Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
And we left about 4 a.m. and broke down in Santa Barbara. So
Oh,
we didn't
gosh.
get very far. Apparently, the Volkswagen's motor had to be overhauled.
Oh, no.
And we finally make it up to San Francisco about midnight. So we'd been on the road 12. And we left at 4.
Wow.
How many hours
That's
is that?
that's
like 20 hours
that's a
or
long
something.
time.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
forever.
Yeah, that'd
And we
be
were
20.
just groggy. We finally, and they that was before cell phones.
Yeah.
And they're like, where have you been? And you got to try on wardrobe now. I'm like, no. So they had a bunch of clothes, and I tried on that blue and white stripy dress. It fit, no alterations. I said, this is
Wow.
it. This is the one. Give me
Yeah.
a sweater and a little, sweater chain thing.
Sure, yeah.
And we decided on the wig, my pet wig, which really kept me warm because my hair is very straight and
Sure.
it doesn't hold a curl, and you had to have that big bubble
Mhm.
hairdo. So,
Yeah.
and they told me that was made of yak's hair.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
And it
Okay.
kept a curl, and it even grew, and expanded during the,
Oh,
the
wow.
damp evening. Look at Toad, like spinning the
Such a
wheel.
good car too.
He's trying to, this car is way too much for him.
I love the dice. The dice in the window, they're
Yeah.
so big and they're so
Hey,
Like
is
all the
that
time.
you in that car? What a waste of machinery.
So that wig must have kept you really
It
warm
did.
in
It
night
was
shoots.
freezing cold that
Yeah.
summer, and we shot in Petaluma,
Mhm.
and Mel's was in San Francisco. But
Mhm.
I think Charles going around Petaluma
Mhm.
here,
Okay.
Mhm.
which is still basically
There you go.
Toad.
Look at
that.
Oh, that's what gave it an X rating, I think.
Yeah. That's why no one saw the
Yeah,
movie
no one
because
saw
of that
the
X
movie.
rating.
Because of that butt in the window. But
Do you know whose butt that was?
and there's some actor. I don't
Okay.
know. It was not a bad looking butt.
No, it's a good butt.
Yeah, good butt.
That guy must have been excited. He's like,
How-
guys, I'm in a movie. Who do you play?
Because a lot of your scenes are in the car. How
Oh,
is
yeah.
filming in a car for people who have never done it? Is it easy because they're all in the back seat primarily, or outside of the
that's
car?
not
or-
hard.
No.
You know, they have a light in the dashboard, so
Mhm.
you kind of have this low light, you know, up your, face. And,
Yeah.
it was very, very cold. It was like 40 degrees, and we shot it in May, June.
Oh, wow.
And Petaluma's very damp, very
Mhm.
foggy at
Mhm.
night, or it was that summer.
Sure.
Mhm.
So we shot, it was 28 nights. So there's Richard.
Did you start filming in another town? And then
We started in San Rafael.
right.
In fact, I think that's where the Holiday Inn was.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And but there was a guy that complained because we were blocking his bar business.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
dear.
He had a bar, and the lights in the trucks and the actors were, in front of his bar. And so he complained, and we moved on to Petaluma.
Wow.
We didn't,
Okay.
we didn't deal
What's
with
their
it.
loss? Wow.
We just went forward. Now, Petaluma has a big hot rod show every year,
Mhm.
gigantic. So they did very well,
Yeah.
doing that.
Is that because of you guys, or was that happening before? Do you know?
No, it was because.
It's because,
of
yeah.
American
That's what they're
Graffiti.
known for
Which
now.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And do you go every year?
I've been many, many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
In fact, I was the one that suggested that I said, you guys are missing the boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
you
it.
know,
Get your money.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. And now it's a huge show.
That's awesome.
And it's like in its, I don't know, 14th year or
That's
something.
amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
So
How did
there's
you
Paul and Matt.
did you take acting classes in LA?
I sure did.
What was that? What was that
After
like?
I realized I can't model my way through
Uh-huh.
jobs.
Did you have anyone in your classes that has since
I
gone on
went
to
to
stuff?
Howard Storm's improvisational classes
Mhm.
every Thursday night for 4 years. And Cindy Williams was in that.
Oh, wow.
God, all kinds of actors.
Yeah.
And he went on to do Laverne, be a director for Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
And Howard Storm, yeah.
I was thinking about that
Very
last night,
famous,
like
very
how
famous.
much this movie impacted television in the 70s
For a
too.
decade. Yeah.
Where it's like Robin Williams
Mhm.
got his start because of American Graffiti. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
inadvertently,
it
where
all
it's like
comes back to American
Happy Days
Graffiti.
goes to Laverne and Shirley, goes
Right.
to Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there's so many things that just spiral out
Mel's.
because of this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Petaluma,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the actors.
All of the actors.
Got many acting jobs.
Did you
after
know
that.
anyone-
Mackenzie Phillips went
Oh,
on to do
Mackenzie
One
Phillips.
Day at a Time.
Sure.
Yeah. We should also say the license plate on the yellow cars,
Oh,
of
that's
course.
THX
Yeah.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, 138, which
but
is George's
George
first film.
Lucas' first film was called THX 1138.
Mhm.
And so he had that kind of little Alfred Hitchcock thing.
Yeah.
And then Francis Coppola had on the marquee of one of the movie theaters,
Mhm.
he had one of his films.
Yeah, I think
On
it's Dementia
the
13,
marquee.
I think.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Did he have a cast screening of his first movie for you guys?
No, I for some reason went to see it when it was at the theater.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, yeah, this is it's so obvious they're shooting it in a parking garage, one of those spiral. But he did have a Robert Duvall.
Sure.
And it was some sort of chase. I don't remember much about the plot. I just remember the actors running a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't remember the plot.
Did you know any of the people in this movie before filming the movie?
No.
No.
I did not know any of the people.
Did you guys spend time together to like bond at
we-
all? Or
we
I mean, I
hung
assume you
out
lived together.
together,
Yeah, for that year. Or for
Every
that few
day.
months.
There was kind of the good kids group and the bad boys group.
Now let's talk about
Okay.
this. Let's get into this.
There are two separate
Okay.
groups, basically.
Which
Who was
were
more
you?
fun, and who did you hang out with?
There was the kind of, Richard Dreyfuss, Charlie, me, Ron Howard, Cindy kind of hung together.
Mhm.
And then there was Paul Lamette,
Right. Right.
Harrison Ford,
Uh-huh.
and Bo Hopkins. And they were kind of the heavy drinkers.
Sure.
Mhm.
back then. And so every morning there would be some gossip about what happened the night before. And there was a big revolving Holiday Inn sign outside the hotel, and every morning there'd be beer bottles going round and around on top of the. A windshield did get cracked.
Okay.
And then Harrison and Paul LeMat were separated, and Harrison was put at another hotel.
That's so
So
funny.
that kind of ended the gossip.
He had a timeout.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a timeout.
Do you regret not being part of that group at all?
No. I mean, I like to drink, but not that heavy.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, I just had a question about night shoots, and you're staying at a hotel. Was that hard? Because nobody else in the hotel is on your hours.
Oh, well, it was very difficult. We hardly got any sleep.
Sure.
And it was a 28-night shoot. We did shoot one day for night.
Okay.
And that's when they put a dark lens over the camera and we were shooting in the daytime, but it looks like night. But if you know that, you look at it and it's
got
not,
a blue tint.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does stand out. But that was a little awkward.
Right.
Yeah.
They had Charlie and I making out on a blanket.
Yeah.
Oh, they chose a weird
broad
scene.
daylight.
Yeah.
Why did they choose that scene for day for night?
Because we shot out in a wooded area and there
Okay.
was no electrical.
Oh.
It was a low budget film.
Sure.
Total with the music I've always heard, it was $850,000, and that includes, the film, the
amazing.
hotels, everything that is involved in making a film. $850,000. I heard that the music George got 41 songs for $40,000.
Oh my gosh.
And it revived those
Oh, sure.
oldies because
Yeah.
the music of the day when we shot the film was 1972. It came out in 73. So the music had totally changed. It was Rolling Stones. It was, the Cream.
Yeah.
It was the Beatles.
Yeah.
And it was not the oldies
Sure,
anymore.
sure.
And if you think about it, the logo of the film is Where Were You in 62?
Right.
The times had changed, the fashion, the hairdos, the music, everything had changed so much within 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, night and day change. And so that's why they had to find a little town that hadn't changed. And that's why they didn't shoot it in Modesto, where there's a lot of thought that we shot the film in Modesto, but we did not. That's where George Lucas is from. But Modesto had modernized and there was a lot of glass buildings and, but Petaluma stayed the same. A little Victorian, turn of the last century town and a sweet town, really sweet. I could live there. As a great town. But
it really is amazing because it feels so 50s.
Yeah, it
you know?
does. It
and
does.
it just shows how those early 60s were still in that, 50s era kind
Right.
of. And then
Yeah, look at that girl teasing her hair.
that's
I mean,
amazing.
we all did that. We bleached our own hair, put on our own makeup. But that was in that time. In the movie, we had a makeup lady, but she also doubled as the hair.
Oh, wow.
And we did the makeup and the hair in the wardrobe wagon. So everything was just jammed up together. There were no chairs to sit. If you wanted to sit, you'd either sit in the car or sit on the curb. It was like very rustic.
Do you remember how
shooting.
much you made for the movie?
I think I was making like $350 a week.
Okay.
And, I was happy to get it, really.
Yeah,
I was happy
sure.
to get it. And
Yeah.
I really liked the script and I really liked my character.
Yeah.
And because it was kind of just me at that time. Yeah, if you had a little money and you bought me a burger, we can make out. Sure. Why not? Get in the back.
That was you,
It was basically.
but not anymore.
Times have changed.
Oh,
All right.
well.
Well, that's cool, I guess.
No, I get in the back seat here and there.
So when was the first time you got the script? Was that around the audition or once you got the role?
No, I was misinformed when I went my first try meeting George Lucas. Was misinformed that the film was taking place in the 50s. And so I had struck out of so many auditions that I thought, by God, this time I'm dressing the part. And I hadn't read the script. And so I dressed 1950s with a chain around my neck and a Letterman sweater and bobby socks and jeans rolled up. And I'm sitting in the lobby with the other actors and nobody is dressed like me. And so I'm really super embarrassed and look really desperate.
Yeah.
And what do you mean, yeah?
Yeah, what was that?
No,
Yeah.
I was saying,
you look
yeah.
really desperate.
Well, I was saying, no,
I didn't want to say anything.
I was saying, yeah, that feels like a nightmare scenario.
It was a
feels
nightmare
like
scenario. So I go into this tiny, tiny office where the desk is almost bigger than the room. And there's George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very low lighting, or maybe my vision was failing because I was so freaked out. Anyway, my back is against the wall there, no room. I'm standing and George is just staring at me like,
oh no.
And then I was like, okay, well, thank you very much. And I left. And a couple of weeks passed and I got a hold of the script and I begged my manager, Pat McQueenie, please get me back in. And she said, well, once they see you and they're not interested, they don't want to see you again. And I begged and begged and begged. Somehow she managed to get me back in.
Wow.
And I dressed as myself.
Okay.
I did not mention that I had been there before.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, you were just hoping nobody remembered it.
Nobody remembered
wow.
me or anything. And it was much more pleasant. I felt much better. And he looked a little friendlier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and we were still in that little tiny office with my back against the wall. But somehow I was picked to try out.
Right.
And that's when I met Charlie. And then I was for sure not going to get the part. And I just didn't even try, really. I just said the dialogue with not a lot of, hey.
Right.
I just love the feel of tuck and roll upholstery, which I would have probably auditioned that way, because I never could do it. I just say, I just love the feel of tuck and roll upholstery, just kind of threw it away with no push behind it. And that worked.
Wow.
But I never remembered that lesson.
Yeah.
So every time I have an audition, I can do it when I'm on the set, but trying out, I just, anyway, so.
Wow.
That's it.
How, can we talk about George as a director? Like, what do you remember about his directing style? A lot of people say doesn't give a lot of direction. He's quiet, that kind of thing. Did you find that to be the case?
A lot of people say? Who you been talking to?
I feel like I've heard that story from people.
Been talking to?
Oh, boy.
Security, get him out of here. Anyway, he hired, Fred Roos was the master caster, and I always call him the master caster. And that man had talent for faces. And,
sure.
Fred cast The Godfather. He recently cast Megalopolis, which I really want to see, but so far no screenings. But, we were all young, just starting out, and we'd get to the set. They'd pick us up about, 4:00 in the afternoon, drive us to wherever, San Francisco or local, and then we'd get in, do the makeup, get on our clothes, and we had a guy named Gino Havens who ran lines. If we knew we were working, and he would run lines with us. Yeah. So we'd have it pretty much, down memory-wise. And we'd get there, and then you quickly realized that George was only going to do 1 or 2 takes, and we were going to move on. So you quickly realize, let's just get it right the first time.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
There was no luxury, like, take 10, nothing like that. So we moved along quite rapidly. They got a lot of scenes done with a lot of actors done in 28 nights. They shot it. But then it took like a year to edit and add the music and do all of that stuff. But there's a lot involved in making a movie. But he was quiet. He would just say, that's good. We're moving on, basically.
Yeah.
He let us kind of walk it out, and then they'd put marks down, and then it would be shot.
Did he tell you anything about your character that wasn't in the script? Nothing.
Wow.
What did you?
He just relied on us to be, create our own little.
Yeah. Did you build
people.
a backstory for her?
There was I was the backstory.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Me
Yeah.
in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
You know, I knew those people. I knew, you know, what we did, all this cruising, you know, showing off your car,
Sure.
you know, picking up dates, smoking cigarettes, drinking, backseat, you know, all of that was very familiar.
What kind of car did you have?
I never had a car.
Oh, okay.
I only got a car when I came to California. Jeff Bridges taught me how to drive on his Volkswagen bus.
Same
wow.
thing with me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I wish. That's the coolest I learned to drive story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges told me.
Yeah, on his Volkswagen bus.
Wow.
So as a result,
Wow.
I always drove any stick shift like I was in a Volkswagen bus, you
Right.
know. And
amazing.
you know, transmissions. But anyway,
Now, did he let you ad lib it all or stick?
no,
'Cause
the
you only had two
dialogue
takes?
was fairly simple.
Sure.
So it really didn't in the dialogue. Gloria and Willard Hayek,
Mm-hmm.
really good writers.
Yeah,
great.
And it all was premium dialogue. And
Did you have a period of rehearsal before you filmed?
no,
Wow.
I haven't been on many films where there's had the luxury of a rehearsal.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually you get hired and then bam, wardrobe, then bam, shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were Gloria and Willard on set?
I don't remember them being on set,
Yeah.
Interesting.
but you know, writers were treated a lot differently back then as kind of
Sure.
a third wheel.
Well,
And
Are they still
Still
Brian?
a little
Yeah,
bit.
are they
Are
still?
they?
Yeah,
Are
they?
Brian was
but
now.
kind of like a third wheel.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and I just remember they were kind of, you know, pushed out and
Wow.
not allowed to be around. Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Well, no, I'm a writer myself, so that,
so
that
you
sounds
know
pretty
that
familiar.
feeling. You know that feeling. You know, because I guess they think, you know, it's too much pressure on the director. Oh my God, they left out that line. I
Yes.
worked 10 years on that
Yeah.
perfect
They're definitely afraid
rhythm
that the
there,
writers are
and
going to be
now
precious.
look, they've improvised.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Did you, by the end of the shoot, you're doing all night shoots, like we said, primarily all night shoots. Did you feel like you were going a little crazy or did your body just adjust to it?
I drank a lot of prune juice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
That's
wait.
interesting.
Why? What does that do?
Oh, you know what
no,
it does.
no.
It keeps you regular. I know
But
that.
but it also
Exactly.
I thought it
Do I
also
have to
helped with
spell everything out to you? My
maybe.
God.
I thought it also
Bring out
helped.
your cell phone and look it up.
I thought it also helped with sanity. You said, were you going crazy? I thought prune juice was good for your brain as well.
Prune juice. Prune juice. So anyway.
I should have brought some.
Yeah,
Should've
if I had known, I
Oh, we
would
could
have.
share our bottles.
Yeah.
We'll just pass a bottle of prune juice around.
But yeah, there's a snapshot of me holding a bottle of prune juice.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Dra-
We
all-
did have a
all-
lot of fun, but
Hmm.
oh,
Oh,
that was Deborah Lee Scott.
Mm.
She didn't die during the 9/11, but
Oh, wow.
4 years later, her fiance was at the top of Twin
oh no.
Towers,
Wow.
and she fell into a huge depression. Never
gosh.
came out of it, and died
Oh
Wow.
no.
That's so
like
sad.
4 years later of depression. But there she is, Deborah Lee Scott.
Wow.
She went on to be in Mary Hartman.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
she was a sweet. She had one of the best lines in the movie, and that is, "Ain't he neat?"
There
Yeah,
it is.
there it is.
That was one of my favorite lines.
It really is amazing how, I mean, that's a credit to Fred, but like everyone went on to do so much stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like even the people who, she's got a few lines in it.
How
and,
about
like,
What?
Suzanne Summers,
wait.
totally silent?
What?
Oh my goodness, there I am. Oh, that's me.
There we
Look
go.
at this.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's me.
So let's talk about this outfit. You got a sweater, you got a striped dress,
Oh, look
you
at
got
this.
the
And
little
there's
purse.
my pet wig,
Oh my
Your
gosh.
pet wig.
which served as a hat. Thank God for that wig.
Yeah.
Look, I have no stockings on, no socks.
Freezing.
And I'm trying to make it look like it's a hot summer's evening.
You're doing great.
Was this
relax
the
we had to relax your shoulders. Look at Charlie's trying to, but once they said cut, we're like, ooh, good grief, it's
Have
cold.
you ever met Connie Stevens?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
What was that like?
She said that she was watching the movie and she
Yeah.
was in the theater and they said her name and she cringed and went down between the seats. That's what she said.
That's amazing.
Really? I thought I looked like Sandra Dee. I can still kind of do the voice. But that was, I wasn't doing a voice. That was my voice at the time.
Yeah.
Now my voice is, more gravelly and, wear and tear.
Did you dress like that at all in real life?
I always wanted a spaghetti strap dress,
Oh.
but we were too poor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you kind of sick of them by the end of the shoot?
No, I wish I'd have taken that. It's worth a fortune.
Oh,
now.
sure.
Yeah.
I wonder where it is.
Costume, Hollywood. It probably got thrown away or used as a mop rag or torn to bits.
Or used in 28 other
Yeah,
movies.
probably.
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
28 other
really,
movies.
Uh,
Charlie.
that's so great.
Look at those Capizio shoes. That was a dream shoe for me back in the 1960s.
Sure.
And they had found a pair. Look at me trying to get adjusted. I have a petticoat on, a can. Peel out. I just love it when guys peel out. And then Toad does this really weak.
That's his best attempt.
Yeah, his best.
Are
attempt.
you in the car for all of those shots?
Yeah, that's me.
But even when we don't see your
we
face,
didn't have
like,
stand-ins.
yeah, that's what I was going to
no.
ask. It seems
you
like
stood
the budget.
in while they lit. There was not a double,
Yeah. So
actor and then stand-ins. No, it was you were the actor and the stand-in
was there
for lighting.
Was there a premiere?
It opened at the Avco,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember they had the Cars
Mhm.
like a few blocks away. So we met over at the Cars, and then we got into the Cars
Yeah.
from the movie, and then the Cars went up, and they had a little red carpet, and we walked into the theater, and just like out of the movie. But
amazing.
it was a packed house.
Yeah.
And the audience rose up out of their chairs when Rock Around the Clock came on.
Oh, that's
Sure.
great.
And I thought, we got a hit.
Yeah.
We got a hit.
Were you aware because before it came out, they didn't know what to do with this movie, and they were like thinking about putting it on TV.
Oh, Ned Tannen and Universal Studios, they thought this was a straight to drive-in movie, like a B quality.
Wow.
And I remember on the set, Francis was like, we got to come up with a new name. They don't like American Graffiti. They don't understand it. And so he was promoting this terrible title called Rock Around the Block. I'm like,
boy.
that is so bad.
Yeah.
I said, American Graffiti. It's got a rhythm to it.
Sure.
Yep.
Keep that.
Yeah.
But they were trying to come up for, like a week with a new name. And finally they settled on American Graffiti,
Sure.
which is a rhythmic title and a lot less cumbersome than Rock Around the Block, which is definitely B grade, drive-in movie.
It sounds like
title.
a game show.
Yeah,
Rock Around.
it's not
The movie
good.
would be remembered so differently if that had been the
Still
title.
remembered.
Hey, have you
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
Rock Around the Block?
Yeah. Well, you wonder how different, because he might not have gotten Star Wars had this, had this been called Rock Around the Block, because the movie may not have, done as well.
And at the time, graffiti was not a word that you heard every day. Like, I got graffiti on my wall. We got to spray paint that out. But back then, it was kind of, wow, what's it mean? But
Yeah.
it didn't matter what it meant.
Yeah.
People, the word of mouth. Back then, the movie would stay in a theater for maybe a year.
Sure.
In smaller towns. If people were coming to see it, they would keep a movie. Not like today where, you got a 1 week chance and then whoop.
Right.
Opening weekend, that's it. Yeah.
But back then, and you could stay. You could park in your chair, and the usher wouldn't come out and say,
Really?
we got to clear it.
Wow. I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, you could
Times have changed.
stay
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
People don't like
stay
that
and
now.
stay
Yeah.
and
Wow.
stay.
What a great day.
And some people would, watch it 3 and 4 times in a day. Just,
Yeah.
Wow.
But I guess they realize, hey, we're losing money.
Right.
These people out.
Do you have a favorite movie theater memory from being a kid? Is there a movie you remember loving, seeing in a movie theater?
Is there a film I remember loving or a theater?
Or
I
a
remember?
theater, either one, yeah.
Well, when we'd go to visit our grandmother in Oklahoma City, there was a theater, several blocks away. And we would go over there with a dime and you'd get in, and they'd show Godzilla, King Kong, you know, and kitty cartoons, and you could spend hours there, you know, and you'd have your dime, and you'd buy a little, you know, penny candies. They actually had penny candies.
Yeah, literally penny
You
candies.
could actually buy a candy and a good size candy for a penny.
That's amazing.
For a dime, you were like rich. You know, you could buy a lot. So,
wow. Now, when you read the script, you said you loved the script. So at the premiere, when you saw it for that's the first time you saw it at the premiere?
they had a cast and crew screening.
Did you feel it was?
It took off like a rocket at the cast and crew.
Okay.
And they were, you know, it was kind of standing room only. It got a lot of people there. And I was sitting on the steps, you know, they would run out of chairs. And like the people that work on it rose up out of their chair and, you know, yelled and clapped.
Yeah.
And it was at the Old Writers Guild, which was a wooden building near Doheny somewhere.
Okay.
There was it was called the Writers Guild.
Right.
But it was made of wood. And it was packed. And I remember they had little hamburgers, you know, that little little treats.
So you knew the first time you saw it,
it was like it took off so.
Yeah.
And look at the photography. I mean,
beautiful.
The contrast of the colors against the black backgrounds and the dark night, you know?
Yeah.
It just makes everything pop. And that's all, you know, Haskell Wexler's lighting and, you know, there's Beat It, Vic, I'm not your baby. And there, you're going to see me kind of stumble on the word horny.
Okay.
Because at that time I was, if brains are dynamite, you can blow your nose. Oh, that's an old insult.
Look at his hair.
Yeah. Funny dialogue. I mean, that's some good dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Toad says, wow, you have a lot of strange friends or something like that. Want a knuckle sandwich? I'm waiting for a double chubby check. Smart.
Do you think the crew knew that it was going to be something good, or because it feels like sometimes
I threw that match at him?
Yeah.
That was my addition.
Oh, you did. You did ad lib then. See?
Yeah.
Creeps. He's just. I couldn't say the word horny. To me, that was a cuss word.
Oh.
And at that point in my life, I didn't cuss. Now I do. But back then, it was like mortifying for me even to say the word damn or hell.
Sure. You do look really excited right now. Like after you said it, your eyes like get very big and
like,
stuff.
Wow,
it's like,
that's behind me. Yeah. I don't have to say that again.
Doors have been opened.
Yeah. But yeah, my mother was a big cusser. I mean, you heard cussing all day long. And it traumatized me, I think, and I just couldn't get the words out.
Yeah.
Now it's easy as pie.
When did that happen? When did you start
cussing? No, let's hear him. Let's hear him. Come on.
This is a PG podcast. Yeah. Come on. So
can we talk about the Oscars a little bit?
Oh.
How did you find out?
Oh, I was gunning for a nomination.
Yeah.
Back then, I was kind of one of the few actors that had the gall to run my own campaign, and you know that was kind of looked down upon, like you know.
Well, now everyone does that. Wow. No. Yeah.
Well, the studios were not running campaigns, and so I thought, well, you know, they call it show business.
Of course, yeah.
So I'll just, you know, it's my business.
Yeah.
And I ran these little quarter-page ads. Back then, the Hollywood Reporter and Variety were not cluttered up with major million-dollar advertising. Sure. Then it was a thinner magazine, and you know, so I got like, I don't know, $1,500 together and went down there with some pictures and made my own campaign.
That's great.
Wow.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And a few people since have done my campaign, and it's always kind of looked down upon as if I don't get it. Why the studios can advertise, but the actors can't advertise. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's So, but yeah, and I was really extremely happy when it paid off, and I went to the Academy Awards, and I thought I was, I got so many telegrams. Back then it was telegrams. Yeah. Flowers, pats on the back, hugs, approval. It was fantastic. And Jeff Bridges and I went.
Wow.
And it was a great evening, and went to the governor's ball.
Oh, wow.
Who were you center of attention. I knew I wasn't going to win. I knew it.
You did.
I knew I wasn't going to win. I thought Sylvia Sidney was going to win for Summer Wishes, Winter Dreams, that she would be the kind of sentimental vote. She'd been around for a long time, and she was going to win. So when they were reading the names, I'm looking down the aisle at Sylvia Sidney, and then they say, and the winner is, that's when they used to say, and the winner is Tatum O'Neal. I'm like, what just happened? And this little kid, like 9 years old, went up on stage and took the award. It was like,
it is an interesting year because you're nominated against 2 children.
2 kids.
Like Linda Blair also.
Blair,
and Madeline Kahn.
Sylvia Sidney.
It's a stacked group.
Well, I love the fact that you were disappointed when your choice didn't win, but you weren't your choice.
I know.
You're like, oh no, I wanted Sylvia to win.
I had no speech. I mean, if they'd have called my name,
oh, wow.
I would have probably fallen up the stairs. Like so many people have fallen up the stairs.
Right.
I remember seeing Barbara Streisand falling up the stairs, and you're so excited, and you're stepping on your own clothes.
Sure.
Do you remember who you sat near?
I was sitting next to Jeff Bridges.
Oh, wow.
And when my mother had a camera, so when they call the names, they focused on somebody. I don't know who they were, but their face and my name were together. But then when we were waiting for the announcement and the winner is... they had me, and my mother snapped the picture, and I still have that picture.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So there I am, and I was sitting next to Jeff.
Yeah.
But we're kind of all on the second row, except Tatum was on the first.
Because she couldn't see over shoulders.
Maybe that was it.
That's genuinely maybe true. Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Wow.
But she went up and took the award away. And
very quick speech. I watched it last night.
I think she probably said, "Thank you, Daddy," or something.
She says, "I want to thank the director and my father," and then that's pretty much it. And then,
So she didn't prepare a speech.
She also did not. Yeah. Or maybe she did, and that was it.
It was like 9.
Yeah.
In a little tuxedo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah. Short haircut, tuxedo. Yeah.
Was there anyone? It was a little unfair competition because it was a lead role. It wasn't supporting.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it was a little unfair, and
Yeah, she got more of the spotlight. That's right.
It
was a bigger part.
It was kind of revolved around her, her character.
Was there anyone there that night that you were excited to see?
I was so, inundated with people coming at me that it was pretty much overwhelming. You're getting so much attention that, it was really good, and I smiled a lot. And I had, before I left that evening, I was putting on my makeup. I was looking in the mirror, and I'm like, wow, where'd you get that tan? And I'm looking, and I go to the awards. Turned out I had infectious hepatitis.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
I know. I didn't realize it, but I did think I had a 10.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was turning yellow.
Wow.
And, I had a movie that I was going to do called Report to the Commissioner, and I'd done all the research, got the wardrobe together and everything with Mike Frankovich producing. And, God, I started getting severe stomach pains, like a week later. And I was talking to a friend. I was at Dan Tana's. I'm out spreading the wealth.
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't know. And I'm saying, God, every time I eat, I just have this really severe pain. And he said, maybe I ought to go to the doctor. Sounds like you kind of have hepatitis. I'm like, no. And so I do go to the doctor. And when when he put a Kleenex over the telephone, he said, "You got to call someone. You're going to the hospital right now."
Oh my God.
And he put a Kleenex over the phone receiver. I'm like, oh, and I totally lost the job.
Wow.
Oh no.
And, and I begged them to wait for me, please, please. And they couldn't. They were shooting in New York.
Sure.
This film. So Susan Blakely
Yeah.
got the role like overnight with no, research. And I saw the movie, and there she was in my wardrobe.
Oh no.
How
was
that's
she?
the breaks.
How was she in it? Was she okay?
It was. I would have been better.
Sure, of course.
I had done like a month's worth of hanging out with undercover people and getting the wardrobe together. But it's
that Oscars also has another big thing that happened that night.
What happened?
The streaker.
Oh yeah, I don't even think I saw that
really?
because I was so dazzled by everything.
Yeah.
I like that
But
it's such a crazy night. That doesn't register.
No, it doesn't register. A lot of stuff didn't register because it was so overwhelming.
Sure. Have you gone back to the Oscars?
A few times. It's you're kind of made to sit in your chair because they don't want to. The camera doesn't want to pan around and see empty seats.
Sure.
So you can only break here and there and go to the restroom. And so, it's a long evening.
Right.
So it's better to watch it on TV.
Sure.
You can see
sure.
better and you can see people's reactions.
This guy is so good.
Yeah, he
in
is.
this scene, he's really funny.
He's great.
I went back to that place because they were doing a TV show, like, let's bring the actors back to the location.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And it was like, every place they brought me, I'm like, this is not it. This doesn't look like it. This doesn't look like it. And they brought me into the liquor store. This isn't it.
Yeah.
It was like a fish and bait shop.
Right. Oh, interesting.
But every place they brought me, I'm like, this is not.
They should do a third American Graffiti where you go back to all the spots, but now it's a fish and bait shop.
Yeah. But they had this wonderful sign out front with it said ice. Oh my God, that sign photographed so beautifully.
Because I assume this is probably what it really looked like as a
Yeah,
business,
this
right?
is
Because they didn't have the budget to remake things.
No, these are not props. These are real liquor store stuff. And see, here I am waiting. Oh God,
With their cigarette.
Were you a smoker?
Oh, every chance I got.
Oh, really?
Are
Okay.
you kidding?
Okay.
And I'm like flubbing my lines, and I begged George, "Can we shoot one more time?" And he said, "No, we're moving on." But I like stumbled over. Did you get it?
Oh yeah.
And I kind of smeared it.
Yeah.
And you didn't get it. And then he says he's asked to borrow money, and he never paid me back. So with interest and penalties,
Yeah. Now's the time.
he owes me about $30,000.
Now's the time to go back on that.
Look,
See, that's the third part. You go back to get your money.
There you go.
collect.
In most American Graffiti.
He
And you
started
see
a
how
new life.
upset I am looking in my coin purse. I'm not supposed to be paying for
No,
the
of course
evening.
not.
I do think you flubbing those lines though,
Like,
it makes
did you
it
get it?
it makes it feel real
Yeah, it
though.
does.
And that's what he's going for.
I hated it. I
know.
was so
sure.
upset driving back to
Yeah.
to the hotel, and you just
But I'll say from an outsider's perspective,
yeah, right.
it's good.
I'll never get over it. Okay, no matter what you say.
You were literally giving an Oscar-nominated performance.
See that
Oh,
sign?
beautiful.
Isn't that
It's
wonderful?
beautiful.
Look
Yeah.
at it.
It really photographs.
That's great.
How did you find out about the sequel happening?
I suggested it.
Really?
Nice. Wow.
Because I want to say this about, I really like the sequel.
No, it's really good and
I
great
think it's
music.
really good.
Really. I think the things that bothered people is that it wasn't like the next weekend.
Yes,
right,
sure.
right.
They wanted more American
Yeah,
Graffiti.
yeah.
Like, here the kids are, and it's the next
The
weekend.
next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the next day, and
Yeah.
they're still cruising, and here's what happened with, this character and that. But it became like, it was a little complicated because it was taking place 4 different New Year's Eves. So that took a while to figure out just as an audience. Like, and then also, that was, and the split screen
Yes.
as nice as it was a little too small.
Okay.
Even on the big screen,
Oh,
you're
wow.
like,
Sure.
what am I supposed to look at, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that was a downside to it, a split screen, and the fact that it wasn't like the next weekend
Mhm.
Sure.
and became more complicated. And you really had to focus and it took you a while to figure out it was happening 4 different
Yeah.
New Year's
Yes.
Eves.
Yeah.
So,
If you'd put like a lower third on there or something,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
like,
I
but
wonder.
the music was fantastic.
yeah.
Did you hear at the time when this one came out, the studio did they want one immediately, a sequel? Do you think that was ever in the cards?
I just kind of pitched it.
Yeah.
But we should do another one. And then it happened.
That's so
And
exciting.
yeah,
George,
they used to listen to me here and there.
George talks about it like it's a flop and like it didn't do that well, and
It
it
did.
didn't make as much money as this, but it cost like $3 million and made 15 or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. So like it did make money,
Mhm.
you know. I would love a third one. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, I'm
don't
not
think so?
ready to
Why?
be photographed in that wig again.
but
No.
you're not wearing a wig in the second, or you're wearing a different wig.
No,
maybe,
that
but
was my hair.
That was your
Yeah.
hair.
That was my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be a flop. Nobody wants to see the
I don't know. What are you guys doing in the
actors
early
all wrinkled
2000s?
Well, certain
up
characters
and
couldn't come back. which is
wrinkled
very sad.
up and aged. That's it hits home a little too personal
Interesting.
for the audience. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was bad enough when I would tell people, yes, and it's the 50th anniversary, and you'd see their face
Yeah,
drop.
yeah.
Oh,
What
You
decade
know,
would
what happened?
a movie now take place in, though?
It would probably be the 2010s.
Yeah, what kind of music would it be? It would just be like Linkin Park.
yeah, or rap.
Yeah.
A lot of cussing and shoot the police kind of rap. But
Your segment, Marsha edited it for More American Graffiti. Marsha Lucas.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. And it's this is what I read online
Okay.
last night after I watched the movie again. It feels very much like the TV show 24. Because 24, there would be a lot of different cameras being like, here's what's happening at the
At
same
once.
time.
yeah, that split
And
screen.
that's exactly what yours
that
is.
Didn't,
I think it's cool.
didn't
I think
play.
it's every
and
segment.
then I had one line that I said maybe a million times.
Uh-huh.
Whatever you do, don't hit those trash cans. But loud.
Were you happy with where your character wound up?
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay,
I
good.
liked playing a hippie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was how I was in New York City.
Yeah.
Not a grungy hippie, but more of a fashionable hippie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Different.
It ends the movie saying she becomes a country western singer.
Oh, that's the sequel too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think? How do you
We
think
had
that
that
worked
nice
out for
big
her?
fight at
Yeah,
the end.
yeah.
My boyfriend Lance broke my heart.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you think it works out well for her?
I don't know. I didn't think about
I
it.
never thought
No.
about it. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Well, we have a script. No,
Yeah. Look at Bo Hopkins.
Yeah.
More American Graffiti takes back one of the deaths.
That guy.
Right, in
I
American
think he
Graffiti.
might have been a
Changes it.
real Hell's Angels type.
The guy in
Really?
the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's got a good face for it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
There's Bo.
Bo's got a great face, too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
chiseled.
Bo.
People say I look a lot like him.
Yeah,
No.
you do.
No, what?
And there's Manuel Padilla,
Okay.
who was a child actor in Tarzan,
Wow.
the early
Okay.
Tarzan
Yeah.
TV show. And there he is.
Wow.
He also played a little part in the movie Scarface.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
In the scene where Al Pacino they're going to cut off his arms.
Mm-hmm.
Remember with the chainsaw?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And Manny was there with a
Wow.
machine gun.
Hmm.
But somehow he got saved. Scarface, I love that film. It's a great
Yeah.
film. But there's the Merc. That Merc wound up, one of the guys from Brian Setzer
Oh,
wound up buying that.
Oh, wow.
And he owned it there's Suzanne Summers. She
There she
worked
is.
one evening and parlayed that evening into an empire
Yes.
I'm shocked.
of books,
Wow.
health, and what was the TV show?
Three's Company.
Three's Company.
She's the sheriff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Suzanne Summers is my grandmother's second cousin.
I was going to ask.
Oh,
It was always the thing when we were growing up. She's like, well, that's my cousin.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like, so
bragging
cool.
rights here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe she worked for one.
One night.
One
yeah.
night.
So you didn't bond with Suzanne
I
Summers.
never even met her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't meet Wolfman because if you
Oh.
didn't work.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a scene,
Yeah.
you did not show up. You
Sure.
try to sleep.
Did you meet him at the premiere? Wolfgang?
Wolfman.
Sorry, Wolfman. Wolfgang.
Wolfgang
Puck.
Puck was also
No,
Wolfgang Puck was.
I love Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, Wolfman Jack.
Yeah. Did you meet him at the premiere?
No.
Oh, man. How about Wolfgang Puck?
Yes. I love Spagas.
What's he like?
Oh, fantastic. So,
Look, you guys driving dangerously.
look,
Yeah,
driving
look
so
at me.
dangerously.
I'm-
He's literally driving.
Look, I was like lying on Toad's lap practically. But that Merc got resold
Mhm.
from Brian Setzer, resold it to someone on the East Coast. And the rumor was that the guy that owned it committed suicide in it.
Oh no.
And it wound up in the back behind a gas station.
Oh, no.
Oh wow.
A Finston gas station.
Yeah.
And abandoned.
Huh.
And someone found it and took pictures of it, and all it had totally delaminated, and all
Oh,
the bondo
wow.
had popped apart. The 32 is owned by a guy, a San Francisco fireman named Rick Fagari.
Mhm.
He bought it for $15,000 back in the 80s. And I bet you that if that went up for auction
Yeah.
at one of
Oh,
the big auction
would be
houses, it'd
insane.
probably be $1 million.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I would say,
Easy, of
because
course.
there's only one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my 58 wound up. A guy bought it as a drive to school car,
Oh.
and he paid $450, I think, for it. But he had it for a long time, and he kept it outdoors. He lived up near
Oh,
Canada,
that's
and so
tough.
it was. I saw it when it was put up for auction at Premier Auctions.
Mhm.
And then Ray Everham had been trying to buy that car for years.
Mhm.
And the guy who owned it at the time, who was back his drive to school car, he the first bid was to be $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Of course, there were
Gosh.
no
Right.
bidders at $1 million.
He was
Yeah.
aiming high.
And
yeah.
so it didn't sell.
Mhm.
And Ray Everham pursued it, and I guess called the auction house, and they patched them together. And I don't know what he bought it for, but it wasn't anywhere near $1 million.
Is there
Sure.
a piece of you that goes, I wish I had bid on that?
No,
No, you don't. You have no.
No.
Some people
I have
like
a
having
Honda.
those things.
I have a Honda. I want reliability. That car was such a mess. And
I don't know if
Ray
you drive
Everham,
it. I think you
You
like
just have it.
you
we
have it in a
mostly
garage
got
or something.
towed
Yeah,
around.
Right.
A lot of these cars were just junkers.
Now, toad.
Really.
That's a great pun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good. You did get
I'm
towed.
laughing hard. But
My jokes are good, though, right? You're like,
yeah,
okay, good.
your jokes are like, whoa.
Fantastic.
You know,
Wow. Sorry, Patrick.
That's
God.
okay.
But look at all these Klieg lights. I always
Yeah.
loved Klieg lights, but they don't use them much anymore.
The lighting in the movie is amazing
Look at
because it is
the
like
sharpness.
so
of
much
this.
of it feels
It's just so
naturally
crispy.
lit.
Yeah, but it's big lighting.
Yeah.
And it was real tedious to light back then with film.
I'm sure.
You'd be there all dressed, and meanwhile, a couple hours later, your makeup's soaked in, your
Yeah.
hair's a mess,
Yeah.
and they finally call you. Okay,
Ugh.
this is day for night.
Day
Yes.
for night.
And we were out in some wooded area.
There's something magical about Day for Night, though. It's otherworldly, kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is, but it looks totally different.
Yeah, it does look different.
But that's just a dark lens they put over the camera. Here I am
hmm
trying to act like it's a warm, hot summer evening, and he's mixing these drinks. And
They don't do day for night too much. I'm like trying to think of
Mhm.
recent things. And the one example, and this relates back to you, is Twin Peaks season 3.
Yes.
There's a
lot.
day for night scene in
Yeah.
there. What was working on that like? Twin Peaks.
easy. I was like
Yeah.
there for a day.
Oh,
I did
really?
all of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
scenes in like a day.
How was he as a director?
Great.
Yeah.
Did you have to audition or just go talk to him, or how
They
did that
did a
work?
kind of a talking audition.
Yeah.
Like the casting lady was just like asking you a question about your life.
Yeah.
Wasn't really an audition.
That's
It
cool.
kind of felt odd.
Was that better for you since you don't like auditioning?
Oh, I
as
just
much?
talked to,
Sure.
Yeah,
like I'm doing now. You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
There's Toad. I'm listening to him brag about all the things he owns. And then I grab him.
Was there a crowd
Yeah.
for this? Like
know,
did people because it's daytime?
sound and
Okay,
everybody
but people
there.
at the daytime weren't
So
like.
we're like making out. First, we get in the back seat and we're like rolling around. I got Charlie to wear one of my favorite teenage colognes.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Which was English leather because I wanted to.
You got to get in the
get in the
headspace.
mood.
Yeah.
And he wore the English leather. Look at how awkward this is.
When was the last time you saw him? Because is he in Canada? Is that where he
No,
lives?
he
now?
lives in Palm Desert. now.
Oh,
Really?
interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you rehearse this, or this was all?
This was
On
all
camera.
spur of the moment.
Wow.
There's people walking by. He says something like Grand Central Station here. Oh yeah, there's the dial.
And there's your I just love tuck and roll upholstery
Why don't we
too.
go? Nah, come
No?
on.
What line gets said back to you the most from fans?
Peel out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I autograph a picture, I write peel out.
Oh, that's cool.
That's good.
It's short and sweet. But yeah, we get out and then he has a blanket and we're like, now we're making out in broad daylight in a blanket.
Do you remember where this was? Was this Petaluma too, or?
No,
Yeah,
but it sure is pretty.
it is
Very
pretty.
pretty.
There's Suzanne. She was a smart businesswoman, parlayed her whole empire from just this one scene.
Yeah. What was her next step? Was Three's Company the next
Yeah.
thing?
These companies pretty soon after, right?
Jesus, Wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a smash.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the next movie you did after this?
I think The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Mm.
Oh my God.
It's a good run.
I think so.
Can we do that movie on the show?
Oh man,
Yeah,
I
we
love it.
should.
Oh,
I would love it.
You know, I can tell you all about the backstage stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But there's Manny, who is a child actor.
Yeah.
Tiny.
And he must have been 4'11".
Yeah.
Really small.
Those jackets are great too.
Yeah.
How was your audition for The Man Who Fell to Earth? Did you
I didn't have to audition. I
Look
just
at that.
got the part.
Yeah. 'Cause
Based
it was-
off of this, do you think?
Yeah.
Because it's a
And
different
I
part.
kind
It's a
of
different.
came
It is,
through
yeah.
friends, really,
Uh-huh.
people
Mhm.
I knew. Cy Liffinoff, who was the producer of the film, also did Clockwork Orange, and Cy did Walkabout. And through Cy, I met Nick Rogue.
Oh wow.
And yeah. Nick
Okay, so
Rogue.
you weren't nervous during Fat City. Were you nervous during The Man That Fell to Earth?
No,
Wow,
because I
look at
had gotten that script about 6 months, 8 months, so I could study it and kind of think about
Yeah.
clothing,
Right.
you know, because the film, The Man Who Fell to Earth, has a lot of time passing.
Mhm.
So you really have to know where you are in the story and what year it is and how long we've been together
Sure.
and stuff like that. And everyone's aging except David Butler.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to keep track of, you know.
Were there actors that you've worked with that have intimidated you?
Let me think. I figure we're on equal ground if we're working
Sure.
together.
That's
Yeah.
a great way of putting it. I like
And
that.
no,
Okay.
not really.
That's great. That's the better way to do
Yeah,
it.
it
I
is
feel
because
like, you know?
it's
Yeah.
really hard to act if you're intimidated or starstruck.
Yeah.
The thing is, after David Bowie and I had finished The
Mhm.
Man Who Fell to Earth,
Yeah.
I went to one of his concerts,
Mm.
and I just treated him like
Oh,
another
he was a
actor.
singer?
Yeah, he was the actual singer.
oh,
You,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Sorry,
the
I'm
Patrick
joking. I'm
doesn't-
doing a bit. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
Yeah.
Patrick said
Anyway.
that joke. Just I wanted
Anyway.
the listeners to
Yeah,
know.
your jokes are way. Anyway, so I did all of this, and I manhandled him,
Yeah,
and in
mhm.
the scenes, I'm shoving him around, and doing all kinds of stuff, and so afterwards, I got invited to one of his concerts.
Mhm.
I became totally starstruck and didn't know how to talk to him anymore. And I'm so glad I saw him on stage
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
fact,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if I'd have seen him before, it would have been really hard.
Right.
I couldn't even talk to him anymore. It just became a whole other
Yeah.
Right.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm intimidated by everyone.
How about me? Are you?
Yeah, very.
He
Ask
was
Patrick.
That's
I
what I
very
thought.
intimidated.
I am.
Yeah.
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 You seem a little halting in your conversation.
That's sort of just his vibe in general.
Thanks.
Oh my
Now,
God.
had you seen Vanilla Ice perform?
No.
Okay, because you were also in Cool as Ice.
Yeah.
And I read that the reason you and Michael Gross were cast in that is Michael Gross was also in Cool as Ice. He was the father of the girl that Vanilla Ice was romancing. Was because they wanted Vanilla Ice to realize they were great actors that he had to rise up to meet. You were literally mentioned when the director was talking about that movie. I think that's really cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's no.
I had that one scene basically,
Well, you made an impression on the director.
and it was Frank Kazooie.
I think that's who it was. No, that was David Kellogg was the director.
Kellogg.
Maybe his real name's Frank Kazooie. Anyway, I thought that was a nice compliment. Like he was surrounding Vanilla Ice with people. So
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't even remember the movie.
Okay.
I think I saw it once when
Sure.
it came out, but I don't remember
I've
much of the
seen it a
plot.
couple
What
times.
was the plot?
Look, there's a
You just
guy that's coming into town and he blows into town and he romances this girl and the conservative father's like, look, stay away from my daughter. But it turns out that's exactly what the daughter needs.
needs.
Yeah, she needs to drop the zero that she is with and get with the hero that is Vanilla Ice. Now is it ringing any bells?
No. What kind of character did I play?
I think you're the girl's mother.
Just
Yeah.
just a
You really
ordinary
did not.
mom?
This did not make an impact on you. We are definitely doing this movie. You're sitting down with us. And
Did I look like an ordinary mom or
well, you're a very pretty mom.
just a mom?
Yeah.
Let's pull up a picture. I'll pull up
Yeah.
a picture and see.
I'm
I
sure
don't even
it
remember.
did not make an impact on you
I just
at all.
remember we were all in the makeup
Right.
room
Mhm.
trailer, and there was Vanilla Ice,
Mhm.
and there was a guy that was on the set that was showing him all these loose diamonds.
Okay.
Believe that's you in the movie?
Oh, thank God.
For the listener, she looked very disappointed that was her.
Oh, look at this weird blouse with these giant
You don't
shoulder
remember
pads.
that? Okay, so
No.
someone was
It
showing
must have been
Vanilla
a real
Ice.
tiny part.
Well, it made an impact on the director. I feel
my
bad for bringing it up. I was so
I hope
excited.
he's not listening. Sorry.
Vanilla Ice is our number one fan.
Oh, no,
David-
the director. I hope
David
he's
Kellogg.
not listening.
I'm going to get in touch with him next.
Yeah, forward me this picture.
I will. I will
like
send it to you. I'll send you the
so
movie,
so
too.
Vanilla Ice was showing off diamonds.
Anyway, no, this con
Uh-huh.
was showing Vanilla Ice
Oh.
a bunch of so-called loose diamonds in his palm.
Mhm.
And Vanilla Ice was kind of young and green and had money
Yeah.
at that time. And I said, when that guy left, I said, watch out. That's a con.
Huh.
That's probably
Yeah.
not real diamonds.
Huh.
And whether he bought them or not, or listened to me or not, but
I love that you're schooling Vanilla Ice.
oh yeah,
I like it.
That's
Wow.
That
amazing.
was, at the height of his fame.
Yeah.
and,
Oh, sure.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
had
Yeah.
been around all the vultures.
Yeah,
I like that you want to talk about Twin Peaks.
I do.
And I brought up Cool as Ice.
Yes.
Twin Peaks. Okay.
So you're working with Robert Forster.
Yes.
It's amazing. In one of his
He's
final
so
roles, and he's so good in it.
In that.
He's so good
He's
in
so
it.
good. And the dialogue was absolutely crazy.
Yes, you come in and you're yelling at him because there's a
Because it's
leak, right?
nothing ever gets fixed. It's all talk. And so they bring me up to Washington State. I think that's where we shot it. And then I'm sorry, booked for like 2 days or 1 day. We do a lot of work in 1 day. And it was a real location, like a real office building. And so I just come in and I fling open the door, and there's all these people there. And there is David Lynch in the corner, and the room wasn't big.
Yeah.
And he's got a megaphone. I started laughing so hard. I mean, who needs a megaphone when the room is 10 by 10? But he had one. And so after I got over laughing at that visual, we did the scene, and I come in, just burning up, and it was, I'm real angry. And then Robert Forster's, can we get a bigger bucket? Bigger bucket! What about the carpet I want? And so, yeah, that was fun to do.
That's amazing. We haven't talked much about Ron Howard. You just had a scene with Ron. How was he? He's so young at that point.
He was an actual 18-year-old.
Yeah.
He was one of our few teenagers.
Yeah.
The rest were cheating.
How old were you at this point?
I think it was like 24 or 26, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, he looks so young.
Yeah.
And More American Graffiti is his last acting starring role, not as himself, basically.
Really?
In a film.
Interesting.
He did some TV movies, but
he had brought his little video and a thing where you put your eyes up and you crank some sort of viewer, and he had a film that he'd won second prize in the Kodak film contest.
Oh,
he
wow.
won second prize.
Right.
Wow.
And he showed it to me, and it starred his brother,
Yeah.
and it all had to be
Clint.
the assignment was the whole thing had to be done in one take.
Oh,
of
sure.
film.
Yeah.
It had to be done in one take. One continual take.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Ronnie, you're a really good director, and I meant it. I wasn't just giving lip service because he was standing right there, watching my reaction. And he wanted me to be in this film called Eat My Dust.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that a Roger Corman one, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was. And he was to be a race car driver, and I was to be his girlfriend. And I didn't care for the script.
Sure.
And, I was kind of a movie snob back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he remembered it because he never asked me to do anything else ever again. I should have said, sure,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
But, 2020 hindsight.
Of course. Who's been your favorite director to do stuff with? Because you've worked with some like heavy hitters. Fincher, Soderbergh,
David Kellogg.
David Kellogg. Yeah.
Frank Kazooie
Yeah.
Frank Kazooie
was actually my favorite.
Yeah. That's a good
No,
one.
there's all of them are, great in their own ways. And I really, I even worked with Jackie Cooper.
Oh, wow.
As a director in a TV movie. What was it called? It was a Rodeo Girl. Yes. Catherine Ross was supposed to be a person, wanting to be in the rodeo scene. And I was supposed to be Olympic quality rodeo champ. And when I went on to meet them, they said, do you ride horses? And I'm like, yeah, I've ridden.
Right.
I lied. And, I'm supposed to be this champion and she admires me because of my skills. And that was with Jackie Cooper.
Did you do any of the actual riding for the movie?
Only kind of the takeoffs and the landings.
Yeah.
But not the barrel racing or any of that.
Wow.
But
have you lied about anything else that a director has asked if you can do?
No.
Okay. Good.
No.
Okay.
That was a little too close for comfort.
Sure. When did they find out that you couldn't do it?
Probably pretty
early.
quickly.
Pretty early.
Yeah.
Do they get mad
But
at
maybe
you?
no.
Okay, good.
It's too late to get mad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We can fake it with editing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if that was Jackie Cooper.
Do you want to look?
Rodeo
I can
Girl,
look it up
yeah.
right now, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about,
Do you think Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors is based on your character, the look?
Your look looks so much like her.
Have you not seen Little Shop of Horrors?
No, that's just an exaggerated 50s.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an
Rodeo
exagger-
Girl, 1980.
Who directed that?
Also, Bo Hopkins is in it too.
Oh.
Directed by Jackie Cooper.
There you go.
Jackie
Right.
Cooper.
Look at you.
So, I even did a film with Lillian Gish.
Wow.
What was that?
What
It
was
was
that
kind
like?
of a Benji takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the name of it. It was a little part. Oh. Oh, my God. Lillian Gish. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the big time. Really.
Sure.
Yeah.
The big time.
You weren't intimidated by her, though.
No.
Yeah.
She was this really sweet lady.
And you said it was a spinoff of Benji?
It was kind of not a spinoff, but a Benji, a dog gets lost in the airport
gotcha.
kind
Okay.
of thing.
Sure.
And then finds his way home, back to his people.
Mm-hmm. Were you his people?
No.
Oh.
I was just a peripheral character that
Someone he meets on the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone he meets on the way. And he saves me.
Oh, that's
He
good.
saves me. He attacks the bad guy who's going to shoot me.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's more, okay.
Oh, yeah,
High
it's
stakes.
dramatic.
High
It's
stakes in
dramatic.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
For kids,
While
though?
I'm actually having a baby at the same time.
There's a lot going on in this
Yeah,
movie.
and I'm huffing and puffing. And someone's got
And
a
someone's
gun
going
on
to
me.
kill you? And
I
that
mean-
baby, Lillian Gish.
No,
Was
but-
she in the movie with you, or is that the next person she helped? Like, or did she have
No,
scenes with
the
you?
dog helps, not Lillian.
yeah.
Well, I don't know,
Gish.
but then does the dog
She's
move on
there.
to Lillian Gish?
She's there.
She's there.
She does not have the gun.
No,
Then
it's a
she's not the
bad
baby.
guy with a gun, and
okay.
I'm having a baby simultaneously while a gun is on me, and then the dog leaps on the hand with the gun.
Wow.
And
And,
Wow.
Wait, okay.
it's,
So
it's scary.
why is there a gun on you while you're in labor?
It's a bad guy.
Yeah, but
And
he's
I'm
just randomly.
Yeah,
Wow, I don't like it.
yeah. He wants me to clear the room, but I was incapacitated at the moment. I can't.
But then the dog comes.
I'm huffing and puffing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God for the dog.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I worked with Drew Barrymore, and that was working with a cat.
Oh.
That was neat. Cat's
Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye.
Good
Ah,
movie. Scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the Blob. Even
Yeah.
worse.
yes.
Even more terrifying.
That one threw me because they killed people you didn't think they were going to kill in that movie. Oh my God. Yeah, that was great. Wow.
I run, instead of running down the street and keeping, running
yeah.
ahead of the Blob,
Uh-huh.
I decide to go make a phone call,
Well,
check my messages,
What better time?
So what is it like? What is it like to get someone who got killed by the Blob?
Yeah.
Like, is that?
That's
I
amazing.
did that scene. It took 2 days to shoot of
Yeah.
me, screaming and misdialing
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
being frantic. And they had the Blob was made out of parachute silk painted with veins. It was
Really? Oh wow.
pink parachute silk
Huh.
painted with veins filled with Metamucil. They said I said, what's inside this thing? And they had a phone booth, and I was just watching the prop guys trying to get this bag of Metamucil, pink painted,
Oh my God.
veiny Metamucil up above their heads and on top of the phone booth so I
Right.
could dribble down
Oh
the
my
glass
God.
windows.
Wow.
And I'm doing all my emoting and screaming and panic dialing and
Uh-huh.
trying to hold the door and oh my God, and where's Herb? And
Yeah.
then I see Herb and he's all demolished in
blobbed.
the blob.
Yeah.
He's been
Yeah.
eaten.
Yeah.
And, it's all freak out and they're spraying me with water so I look like I'm sweating. And then I'm looking at the blob and it's not scary at all. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, Jesus, I'm doing this acting job and the thing isn't scary. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not saying it out loud.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just doing my bit, my work.
Yeah.
And then I watch the movie. It was moving fast.
Yeah.
It looked good.
It looked great.
Yeah. Yeah.
The magic of editing.
Yeah.
I tell you. But at the time I'm thinking, this is not working.
Yeah.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah.
How often do you think that happens? That either way, either this does not feel like it's working and it does work, or
It
this
works.
does feel like it's working and it does not work. Does that happen a lot?
No, Amityville 3D
Mm.
was one. Oh, that was another one
Mm-hmm.
where I'm creeping around the house
Mhm.
and I'm supposed to be hearing stuff like
Yeah.
ghosty sounds, and there's nothing.
Sure.
And it's just the director and the crew. And I'm like, looking around the corners all freaked out,
Uh-huh.
wandering through a house and, it's creepy sounds. And I said, am I overdoing it? Because
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Sure.
And you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you're doing what you're hired to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
and then it cuts together and you're like, wow, that looked good.
Right.
Was there anything different about shooting a 3D movie that
There
you found
was.
hard?
There was where there's one where I come down the basement stairs and I have a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, the 3D I don't think worked at all.
Sure.
Once I saw it, it's
Uh-huh.
all muddy and dark and
Yeah.
gloomy.
Yeah.
But where I had to reach out and kind of in an awkward, put my arm out really far
Uh-huh.
and in an awkward way with a flashlight. But it,
Yeah.
3D now is really good, but back
can be.
then it was pretty primitive.
Right. Absolutely.
It just didn't seem to work.
Is there any kind of movie you wanted to make that you haven't yet?
I would like to be like in a nice monster movie or something.
Oh, good.
I always kind of admired Lon Chaney,
Yeah.
The Man of a Thousand Faces.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that would be fun to do. Although in The Man Who Fell to Earth, I did have a lot of appliance work.
Mhm.
Sure.
And now they do appliance work. You don't even see the seams. But back then it was a lot more,
Right.
rubber pieces glued to your
Yeah.
face.
Right.
And you could, if you really look, you could see that it's rubber.
Sure.
But but that all that it was real tedious work, work with working with appliances. But
Does it help you to act though when you're in prosthetics and stuff? Does it help you get into
the
it?
kind of the parts do the work for you.
Okay.
You're just
Mhm.
like
right.
inside wearing them,
Mm-hmm.
But that does a lot of the work for
Okay.
you
Okay.
visually for the audience.
Do you
But
have to?
this
go
was an empty drive-in
Yeah.
restaurant. It still was intact, but
Mhm.
Did you all hang out in there at all?
to stay warm? Yeah.
That was like your seating area or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Who were you closest to by the end of the shoot? Would you say?
Probably Charlie.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Dreyfuss was he didn't socialize much because he was in a depression. He had broken up, or his girlfriend broke up with him right before. And so he spent a lot of time in his room, in bed. He said he was crying a lot.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
They talk about,
But he doesn't look puffy or
No,
anything.
no, he
It's
looks
really
great.
in this
Yeah.
movie.
They talk about in the making of, he got pushed into a pool.
He got thrown.
Were you there
by
for that?
I was waiting for him to come. We were going to go to lunch. And I'm like, God, where is he?
Yeah.
And it turned out, I think, Paul Lamette and I don't know who had him they had him by the arm and the leg, and they tossed him into the shallow end.
Oh,
He could have been killed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shallow end.
He said he got a giant welt
Yeah.
on his face.
And
they had
so he finally arrives, and he's always been funny. And I open the door, and he's like leaning against the frame of the door, dripping wet. Just one of those
Mhm.
deadpan looks,
He might have been concussed as well.
Yeah.
But he did get a knot on they threw him in head first into the shallow end
Yeah.
of the pool. That's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Was there in their eyes? Was there did they get in a fight or?
No, I think it was just alcoholism.
No, just being fun.
yeah, just having fun, just being a bully.
Boys being boys.
Boys being bullies.
Poor Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah,
It got him ready for Jaws.
That's
poor
true.
kid.
The water.
Yeah,
He had to go in that water. Yeah.
Richard, he's so good. God, is he good?
Was Francis on set at all for this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the one
around?
that was trying to get us to think of a new title.
Yeah.
Rock Around the Block.
Rock Around
No. Look at the beautiful cars.
I know. Was the car that you spent the most time in your favorite one, or is there another one you like more?
None of them were very functional, and they
Yeah.
were all very, worn down.
Mm.
They photographed great,
Mhm.
but in person, they were just, beaters, really.
Right.
And some were better than others. I think my car had a hole in the floor.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's so
50.
like any
58.
still from this movie looks like a painting. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Is this the 4K?
I believe
version?
this. Yeah, Amazon.
Well,
had the
look
4K.
how sharp.
Yeah.
And the original was very dark
Yeah.
and grainy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The VHS,
Oh sure.
very dark and grainy. I mean, you could see a lot in the background, and
Mhm.
it's just really crispy
It looks
Mhm.
cool.
with the new version. Very crispy.
Did you see after more American Graffiti? Did you see George at all after that?
Yeah, we were brought to Aspen, Colorado for some film thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen him.
What did you see Star Wars when it came out?
Yep,
What were your thoughts at the
I
time?
loved it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Every year I get a Christmas card
Oh.
from George.
Oh, that's amazing.
Also, George, before the film came out, split one of his points 10 ways. So each actor got 1/10 of 1%.
Wow.
And throughout the years, it's probably, totaled maybe $50,000.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And every year, like clockwork, get a little check for $600,
Yeah.
$800.
Yeah.
That man honors his commitments.
amazing.
He
Cool.
really does.
Yeah. So it is nice when those new Blu-rays come out or it's streaming on something like that. Does help for you
it
guys.
does help. But yeah,
That's great.
it's a little moo cow that keeps giving.
Were you surprised
Little
that
old moo cow.
it's so beautiful? It looks it looks like it was shot yesterday. Though.
Yeah.
I know.
It's perfect.
There's a
Beautiful movie.
softness to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's Paul Matt,
Look at him.
the James Dean heartthrob.
He's really good in it. He's really good in the next one too.
He
Like
is.
they're both of them. You want to see him in so many more
Does it end
things.
with him? It ends with him driving towards his
It ends with him
destiny,
driving
right?
towards a car,
And it might be that.
and then the names come up at the end and say
Hmm.
he was killed by a drunk driver. And yeah,
Mhm.
That
Uh-huh.
ending made me so mad.
in this one,
In
Yeah.
Sure.
American Graffiti, because we're all laughing and
Yeah.
having a good time.
yeah,
And then it tells what happened to
the
the
boys
characters. And you see the car go over the hill, and then you don't see it anymore. And
yeah,
it says he was killed by a drunk driver.
yeah.
And it just made me furious
Yeah.
that they brought us down that hard
Yeah.
after having such a good time.
Was that a decision
I
that wasn't
did not
in
like that ending.
it was not in the script?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it just
It's jostling.
shocked me,
Yeah.
Sure.
after this nice movie about all these people, and you really get to know them and love them. And,
Yeah.
and then for that to happen, drunk driver,
I
Yeah.
know.
really?
Yeah.
Anyway, it really ticked me off.
It threw me the first time. It definitely adds a weight to the movie.
Doesn't
that,
it?
Yeah. But
It-
I also think it makes you appreciate these are the moments. These are the moments in the people's lives. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
in a way, like lived now because
Yeah.
that could happen, and that's.
I'm
but-
scared to
but-
drive home with
Yeah,
that.
no. Well, I'm staying here tonight.
Yeah,
but,
you're gonna.
But no, but like, I don't mean that could happen. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
Boy, this is just getting scarier.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What I meant to say is
Maybe
everybody's
this
going to be
interview
fine.
can just go on forever, and we just move in here.
This is our new
I
home.
ain't leaving.
Now this talking to you right now, Del Close, who is
Yeah.
Improv
the
legend.
father of
He
improv,
likes
basically.
to drink. He told me so.
Yeah. But a
Billy
huge,
Weber, that was 10 years ago. Everybody's speculating.
a huge man
He
in the
looks
comedy
like
community.
a dog. Looks like old Ginger. And then they totally. And what are they doing out at this hour?
Yeah.
Mm.
Those people
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
His grandparents.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Del Close.
That's Del Close.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
taught Bill Murray,
Yeah.
taught every improviser, every comedy person to come through Chicago.
I bet he was crazy on set, real wacky. Do you remember what he dedicated when he passed away? He donated his skull
to
to a theater department.
so
Yeah.
they could do like Hamlet and stuff.
I'm so glad I was able to tell you that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Is
A real-
that even legal?
Oh, he did it.
He made it legal.
No.
He doesn't play by the rules.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't believe in anything
No.
but yes and.
Yeah.
So when he said it was going to happen, it's
Uh-huh.
going to happen.
It didn't happen.
No, it did.
That's
It
the
did.
Board
It
of Health
genuinely
would-
did.
The
No.
Board of Health would.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
they claim it happened.
Sure.
No,
Sure.
that's.
He wasn't talking about it on set.
You can't do that.
In 30 years when I
You
pass
can't
away.
do that. Yeah, and I'm just going to give it instead of to a hospital or a.
Yeah.
He gives it to a theater
Yeah,
department
come on.
to use
you
in
really
Shakespeare.
believe that?
Well,
No.
that's the legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
And when the story's good, you print the legend. That's what it is. This shot's
That's a
amazing,
nice
too.
shot of
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
They're like building him up,
Look at that gas, 45 cents a gallon.
He doesn't realize he's going to be dead in like 5 minutes.
Because you just never know.
He just lit a cigarette. That's the slow way to go. Okay,
Well, he might as well
there's Toad.
smoke if he's going to be dead.
Okay,
But now-
this is Johnny Weissmuller Jr. who
Oh.
beats the pants off a toad.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's Tarzan's son.
Son of
That's-
Tarzan.
He had kind of a auburn red hair. A
Mhm.
big guy. Look at him. Look at Toad.
Yeah.
Being yanked up by the collar.
Oh wow.
That's Johnny Weissmuller
I mean,
Jr.
yeah, he's
look at
You
him.
look at Adam,
Tarzan-esque.
you're like,
He
yeah.
kind of looks like his
Mhm.
daddy.
Almost Christopher
Look at him.
Reeve-esque, too.
Yeah.
Like a little Superman-y.
Big, strong profile.
And the other guy sort of
And
has a
then
Michael McKean
here
vibe.
comes Paul to the rescue. Look, I'm hitting
Yeah.
this guy really with that
you're doing-
hard plastic purse. I believe in going like
You're
real
doing your
life.
best.
We're doing real life here. I'm gonna beat the pants off.
Can
of
we hear
with
you
this
say,
purse.
"Stop it, you creeps"?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! There you go.
It's like we're in the
Oh,
room with
did
her.
you see Johnny
It's amazing.
Weissmuller threw me? He threw me back.
He really did.
Yeah.
He really shoved me.
Yeah.
He did.
Is
Did
it too late to sue?
No,
Okay,
we're witnesses.
man.
We've seen the
look
movie.
at that. Look at this Paul Lamette, who was a trained boxer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bo Hopkins always thought that scene was not authentic. Look at him fight, swinging from low and these roundhouses. I'll die soon.
Okay.
You're talking to the woman I love, or something like.
So Toad had a sad ending in this movie as well, but then
It gets sort of retconned in the next one.
in more American Graffiti, he doesn't pass away.
No, he
fakes
disappears
it.
in the young jungle of
He goes-
Vietnam, and
yeah.
he still lives there.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, he
So you
opened
must
a
have been happy
bar
about that.
and, had a house of prostitution.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
the
he
third
made
one,
it
you guys
okay
would
in
reunite.
Vietnam.
Yes.
So that's good. He took back one of the sad endings for the
Yeah.
sequel,
Yeah.
No,
right?
he did okay.
He's so young.
Yeah.
He is a true 18-year-old
Yeah.
right there.
He must have been
All that beautiful red hair.
so excited and
Yeah.
scared.
Look at him.
Well, because he's in a weird point in his career where he's not a kid anymore.
Right,
And he's not, doing Mayberry stuff. And he's like, if I want to do this, this is the thing that's going to make it or break it,
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like he was already starting to get into directing as
Sure.
well, which is
Yeah.
kind of
No, he
cool.
had won
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
prize in the Kodak Film
That's great.
contest. There I am. Looks like I got another cigarette. Any excuse to smoke. All teenagers smoke. Puff, puff,
course.
puff, puff. Look at this. I get to smoke on the job.
Your hair is just so big. It's amazing.
It would. They'd have to pin it down. It would start swelling
Yeah.
because it was Yak's hair. Look at it. Look at it. It's
It looks
like-
great.
people have said, "Is that your hair? Is that a wig?" No, it's a wig.
Also,
Yeah,
Toad's
so-
hair is amazing.
And it was split up the back because it was so small. It was like a child-sized
Oh, wow.
wig,
Oh,
but
wow.
gigantic. And they had to cut it up the back, and then it was kind of artfully smooshed around the hair
Right.
to cover up that split. And underneath, you have your hair is in pin curls, real tight,
hmm
and then you have this pantyhose on your head holding it all together.
Right.
And then they pin the wig onto the pantyhose. Very
Right.
painful. After like several hours in
Sure.
that, your scalp is in, you got a lot of knots on
Yeah,
your head
yeah.
from the constant pulling and pins. And
How short was your hair under that wig?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Good God, man. You really asked that
It's
question?
the hard hitting questions.
Jesus.
I was just wondering.
How short? How short was your hair 51 years ago?
I was a newborn. So very, very. No, I was wondering
I
if it was
mean,
if they had
come
if they had to like mush up a lot of hair and
Oh,
then
they
put
had
it
to put
on.
it in pin curls.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy.
Pin curls. Here I am reviewing the evening and how much fun I had.
got in this really bitchin' fight.
And I give Toad a kiss, but
Mhm.
I guess I've forgotten that he'd been throwing up. His
And he also
breath
has
is-
blood all over his.
breath has got to be nasty
Oh,
at this
sure.
point. But I,
don't even
being
care.
a good sport, here I am looking at him and,
Yeah.
smiling, trying to make his glasses are broken. His shoes are all scuffed.
Do
And
you like motorcycles? Because you just said you love
I
motorcycles.
said
in
it's
the movie.
almost a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's a moped. There. Oh God.
Oh, it was a pity.
There
kiss.
was that kiss.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's like, you see him touch his chin. He's
Yeah.
like worried. Is my breath bad?
He thinks about that kiss forever, though.
Yeah.
That's-
Changed his life.
Will I
Yeah.
ever see her again? And
Will he though? Will he ever?
yeah,
see
we
her
do.
again? Yeah.
Yeah.
We do. We see each other at the racetrack
Mhm.
Mhm.
when Big John's going to race his car.
Mhm.
He becomes a race car driver. Here's the Wolfman Jack.
Or Wolfgang.
Wolfgang.
You could,
yeah, Wolfgang Puck. We would hear Wolfman Jack back in the 60s in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
And we'd be speculating, just like these people.
Sure.
Who is he?
Sure.
Was he in Mexico? Is that what they were talking about?
I think
I saw
he was
someone
in
talk about
a town called Villacuña or something like that. Mexico. But here he's in Petaluma.
Yeah.
And
this movie made him a superstar.
it
every
did.
show, every
did
movie.
not hurt his
No.
career at all.
Yeah.
And people got to see what he looked like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he'd always been a mystery.
I wonder if
pretty
that
cool.
was like a hard decision for him
Oh.
to be like, do I want to reveal myself? Right. Even here, like he's not revealing himself.
Yeah,
but
he's in shadow.
yeah.
And
What a great shot. Oh my
and
gosh.
then so crispy and clear.
Yeah.
The 4K really makes it.
Yeah.
There's Richard. He's got that Madras shirt. Madras was very popular back in the 60s,
Mhm.
especially what they called bleeding Madras,
What's that?
which the dyes, once you washed it, the dyes would
Bleed a little bit.
it was actually from India, and I guess you were never to wash
Oh, wow.
your shirt
Oh.
Wow.
or your clothing,
Sure.
because it would all blur together. The dyes would blur together.
Yeah.
But that was a thing back then. That was a status symbol.
Mhm.
Wow.
Now, Wolfman, as you see, had long hair, but he's got it all up in a French twist in the back.
So he's still sort of hiding what he looks like a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
He's like still.
But it was
concealing
the
it.
70s, and
Yeah.
they didn't want to cut his hair.
Sure,
Long
sure.
hair was in style,
Yeah.
not short.
They
Well,
should put it in the same wig you were wearing. They
Yeah.
had a big poofy blonde wig.
But they made it look the greaser
Oh,
look
it looks
with
great.
the
I didn't know it was a wig.
with the oil.
Yeah.
No, he's not in a wig. That's his
Oh,
hair,
it's
but
all-
he
it's
has
all
long
greased in.
hair.
It's kept
Yeah,
up.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Oh, okay.
put in a twist, a
I don't know
roll in
about
the
hair
back.
too much. Okay.
But he had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably all swished to the other side that's not showing.
Oh, that's yeah.
Swirled around.
And we're coming up on 5 a.m. according to the clock
Oh my
right now.
God.
So it's been a long night.
It's been a long night, and so he puts out a call to the woman he loves,
Mm-hmm.
Suzanne Summers, and the White T-Bird, and even Richard looks tired.
Yeah.
Like
Well, he was
just
going
looked
through
at
some stuff.
Yeah, he'd been crying for 4 weeks
Yeah.
in his room,
That's sad to
but
think
he
about.
doesn't look puffy. I mean, he doesn't look. See how young Wolfman is. And sweet. Look at his eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
he looks like a very nice person.
And he's good in it too.
Yeah, no,
like
he's
for
really
a
good,
guy who's
really
like not
relaxed.
an actor,
Really,
he's like very
really relaxed.
Yeah.
Just doing his thing.
So you're in 2 major San Francisco movies because you're also in Zodiac.
Oh, Zodiac.
Oh.
Yeah.
How was
That was shot here.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. Did you have to deal with the many takes? Was that something that happened for you? Yeah.
That was the opposite of George Lucas.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm curious
I
about
prefer the less takes
Yeah.
Yeah.
method than the overtake
it. Yeah.
method. And there were scenes that he wanted to actually reshoot.
Oh, wow.
For what reason? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you go back and reshoot them?
There was one scene where I was already out of town and they wanted me back
Mhm.
to be in this scene where I come in and I think you ought to look at this.
Uh-huh.
As a note from the Zodiac to the
Mhm.
boss,
Mhm.
Sure.
detective boss. And I was out of town and they reshot it and I don't think I'm there.
Mhm.
Right.
I saw the movie once.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Wolfman.
There he is.
Did you like the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I loved
Yeah.
American Graffiti.
Yeah.
You loved American Graffiti.
That's what you're asking about. That's what you're asking
Gotcha.
about. Yeah.
No, I love that movie. I love American Graffiti.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie.
Why would you ask me this late in the game if I liked the movie?
That is
Yeah,
crazy,
right?
Brian.
That was weird to me.
That
was so strange
What
to
have
me.
you been
For an
asleep
hour
the whole
45, Brian.
God, and now
Oh
you
my
ask
God.
me, do I like the movie?
I
yes.
love them. I
gotta
love
get
the
better
movie.
at this.
I know. This is my first time. Patrick, how many times have you seen American Graffiti?
That's a great question. Somewhere in that 5 to 10
Yeah,
realm,
me too.
probably.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, there's time.
I'm not in it.
Yeah, but still.
I don't go to the anniversary screenings to talk at them,
I have big news.
That's true.
I'm putting you in it.
You're putting me in
I'm
it?
going to CGI you in it.
Finally.
Mhm.
I'm in the back seat.
That's Del Close's skull right there.
Oh my Christ. There's Harrison.
Yeah. His scene in the next one is with you. You guys get pulled over and you've got all the weed in the car and he's the cop.
Oh,
Mhm.
you mean the next
American
Oh,
Graffiti.
next
Sorry.
Jesus.
Sorry.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He has his hair all pinned up because when we did more American Graffiti, he didn't want to cut his hair, so
Mhm.
he had it all pinned up. You guys, once you get long hair, you don't want to
You wanna
cut
lose
it
it.
for
No.
just
Right.
a little role in a movie.
No.
Come on.
He was uncredited for that, right? I think it was.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
don't think it was.
Boy.
I wonder if this is Day for Night too.
Does
If it's
look
just
like
Or
blue.
Dawn.
Yeah, or Dawn.
or
Yeah,
just
maybe.
literally
Maybe Dawn.
Maybe.
Diamond 3132.
Mhm.
I still remember one of my first WA 31670.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's a Texas number.
We call that what would
Walnut.
happen right now.
WA 31670.
How often do you go back to Texas?
Like once a year.
Do you have family there?
Yeah, my brothers are there.
Oh, amazing. Are they still in the same town that you grew up in?
Yeah, Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah.
This is Frates Road, but in the movie it's called Paradise Road,
Okay.
Mhm.
but it's Frates Road,
Okay.
which is outside of Petaluma area. Frates, Fretes, Frates. Something
Okay.
like that.
What was their reaction to this movie, your brothers?
Oh, well, they loved it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Else I'd beat them. You
Yeah.
better love this.
They must have been so excited.
But right now, this road has apartments on
Mm.
either side.
That's a
it's
bummer.
no longer out in the country.
Oh, that's so
It's just
sad.
such a
Yeah.
beautiful shot.
Apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Toad.
Grew up. Look at this.
I mean, that
Yellow
area.
car is definitely ahead. Definitely ahead. No.
Oh, come
No,
on,
he
guys.
didn't win.
Come
Come
on.
Jesus. Oh, jeez. I think they tried flipping this car a lot. but-
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And people that know cars say, that's not the same car.
Sure.
They do. They pick it apart. Oh, here comes.
I mean, we're wrapping up. This is
Yeah.
like we're-
Everyone's there.
yeah. This is truly a crazy night. Like this is such
Yeah.
so many things have happened tonight.
His girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh.
What if these are just very dramatic people and this happens every night? There's just other cars on the road from the previous nights.
Do you think that's real fire? Do you think the car's really on fire?
Yes.
Whoa.
Right?
They didn't have special. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It just exploded. Good thing Cindy got out. Now they're going to get married and then they'll get divorced. I just predict that. I predict it's not going to last. Ron Howard becomes an insurance salesman
Mhm.
instead of going off college and winding up as president of the United States.
Mhm.
Never going to happen. Look at Toad. Toad wound up. He took the shirt and the glasses,
Wh-
and I think he took the shoes.
Oh,
he still
wow.
has those.
Wow. That shirt it's so funny.
Yeah, it was kind of custom made. I don't think they could find a pink and black
Yeah.
shirt. Oh, look, the pocket's torn. No, I just now saw that for the first time.
4K.
4K.
There
It's
you
so
go.
clear.
For all we know, in the original cut, it wasn't, and George changed it
George-
fairly
Yeah.
recently.
I did to be open. Yeah.
Look at that. Pink and black. That was the hot colors of the 60s.
That's great that he had the foresight
Yeah.
to take that though
Yeah.
at the end.
He took the glasses.
Yeah.
And I think he took the shoes.
Wow.
I just can't believe a walk and talk is
I
this
said, do
beautifully
you
shot.
realize how much that's worth, Charlie?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This part of the state is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me genuinely very sad that there's apartments there.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
like,
It's
oh,
no longer
it's-
farmland.
Yeah.
There's apartments. The last time I saw it, and it's probably both sides now.
Wow.
It's like, oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
time marches
Yeah,
on.
that's true.
Another thing we'll address in American Graffiti 3 when I start writing. When I start writing it.
I ain't doing it. Not in
Oh,
4K.
come on.
Oh my god. The rankles. Okay, yeah, no. That'll make people too sad to see their favorite characters all elderly. No, think about it.
I think it'll be fine. Harrison Ford came back in Star Wars. People are excited to see him.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, nobody says anything.
He looked great. Harrison Ford, very
He looks great.
It's going to be great.
Brian worked with Harrison.
I worked with Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Doing
Movie.
doing what?
I wrote a movie called The Secret Life of Pets too, and he did a voice.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
And he was great.
You know,
He's
I'm
the
a really
sweetest man.
good voiceover artist.
Cool. Okay. I'll get your information from Patrick.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We'll make it happen.
I would love
I'm
that.
really good.
I would love that.
I'm really good.
You're too good for me, but I would love that.
No, I'll do it.
Okay. Okay.
Sight unseen, whatever. Porno.
Cool. Wait. What that last part was.
What? Where am I? Oh yeah,
That's
American
what the
Graffiti.
American Graffiti 3 is going to be. It's fine. No, he was the sweetest
my
guy. He did not
God.
throw me in a pool.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was great.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was lovely. Yeah.
See, I can do that.
Yeah.
Easy. Have you got another
Yeah,
animation
I'm
coming up?
always doing movies. Yeah.
Brian's
are?
very
very
busy.
successful. Let's not turn this about me.
Let
This
me
is about
kiss your
American
ass
Graffiti.
right now.
No. I'm not the director. I'm the writer.
Well,
But I can-
hell yeah.
I can
I
put
would
you in the
love
direction
to
of the
get
guy.
in on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to get in on that. I'm really good with the beep, beep, beep
Oh,
talk.
yeah.
Oops, I really said that loud. But yeah, you really got to time it.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 talk.
Did you ever see Radioland Murders?
Yes.
Did you know that is connected to this movie?
Yes.
The two main characters, I believe, are Dreyfuss's grandparents.
Get out of here.
I think.
And then
Brian Benben and
I think
Mary
Paul
Sue
and Bo Hopkins and I were,
Are you
in
in
the
Radioland?
audience.
Are you?
Yeah, I
I
have a
didn't
little
realize
part in
that.
that.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I think Bo
Were you
Hopkins.
playing the same part?
No,
Oh.
not
Oh
not
wow.
Debbie.
I didn't know that.
Oh, of course it wouldn't be Debbie. It happened way before.
Yeah.
Maybe her
Yeah, it
grandma.
was be the 40s or something.
Yeah.
Look at Toad. He hated that hairdo because it was long on the sides and short on the top. So when it wasn't
Yeah.
You
greased back, it
Oh,
just
yeah.
had
It's just
these long,
flops. Yeah.
stringy, floppy.
You sort of have to grease it.
Yeah.
You sort of have to keep it that way.
Yeah. Look how
That's so
thin he
funny.
looks.
Yeah.
I like that he has some confidence now
Yeah.
because of Debbie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Back seat.
Mhm.
Well, blanket. There's Cindy. Look at Paul doing that kind of James Dean
Yeah.
hitch in the hips,
handsome guy.
kind of
Yeah.
hands on the hips.
Radar equipped.
Yeah. Oh. Hubba. Look at this old airplane, prop plane.
Magic Carpet Airlines. Was that a real airline?
Probably. They
Yeah.
would.
There's
no way
with
they
low
could've-
budget.
They wouldn't have
be.
repainted it. Yeah.
No. And now he's going to see.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. She's still out.
Oh,
It's like
man.
7 a.m. He looks down, and lo and behold, damn it
There
all!
she
There
is.
she is.
And he jumps out of the plane.
Where is she going all
Yeah.
night?
I don't know.
She's busy.
Where
she's
in the
Uber
heck
drive. Yeah.
is she going?
Wasting so much gas.
Alone in
Yeah.
that beautiful white T-bird.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Brings
There's
you
that.
right down.
That infuriated me. I was just so angry.
Yeah.
Just, next up, Cane Mutiny.
I guess
Well,
so.
the audience
Yeah,
won't see
Amazon.
that part.
Yeah,
Missing
yeah.
in action.
I don't like it.
Wild.
Insurance agent.
Uh-oh.
So I guess
Man, it just goes
uh-oh.
right
yeah,
to
it really
the
skipped
Cane
the. We're
Mutiny.
watching on Amazon. It did
Holy
skip the credits.
cow.
So I guess to wrap up,
Yes.
this movie's great.
Perfect movie.
It's a perfect
It's
movie.
a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And what are you like? How does it feel to be in a 10 out of 10 movie? Like,
Feels great.
it really changed your life and it changed your career
It did.
in so many
and,
ways.
I'm like, look at me now. What am I wearing?
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
wearing an American Graffiti-esque shirt.
I am.
You are wearing it is American
It
Graffiti.
Yeah, it's a
says
Mel's
specifically.
Diner.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
American Graffiti. Mel's Drive-In.
yeah.
I am American Graffiti.
The perfect way to end this.
In a way, we all are.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming
right.
on. This was so great. I mean, we were right.
About what?
It's a great movie.
I mean, I hope people watched it without us talking over it first, but I think everyone's seen American Graffiti, right?
I would hope so.
I mean, it's fantastic. Do you think if George Lucas didn't make Star Wars, he'd be making movies like that?
I wish that he would come out of retirement not to make another Star Wars, but to make a third American Graffiti movie.
What decade would that be in with these
It would
characters?
be like the 90s.
No. I'm going to disagree. I don't think that should happen.
Oh, you think it would be the 70s?
No, I think that you're correct. It would be the 90s, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing that should happen.
I sort of wish those movies became like the 7-Up movies,
Oh, okay.
where you just got a new one every 10 years, and it was
Right.
like, what are these people up to?
Right.
That's
Can we just
interesting.
pretend that Singles is in the same universe and that's your 90s American Graffiti?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. That's what Cameron Crowe said. He wanted to do a 90s American Graffiti. I don't know.
Sure.
Nick. He's coming on next week. We'll ask him. Is that weird?
Don't lie to people.
Well, he's coming. He said he's going to be there.
Now I got to reach out.
Yeah, you do.
We got to figure this
Is
out.
that the movie you'd want to do with him?
With Cameron
Singles?
Crowe, what would I want to do? No, I want to do Aloha.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It's about the sky.
Can I just say this? We're talking about American Graffiti. I watched all of Cameron Crowe's movies last year.
Yeah.
He hasn't made a bad one, and I'm including Aloha in that. You know what Candy Clark was in, and she talked about Cool
Yeah.
as Ice.
Oh, yes.
And she was kind of not wanting to in the beginning of it. But
I don't think she really remembered it that
I know.
much.
I do. I thought she was great. And I was intimidated when she came in the room. And within 10 minutes, she was just hanging out and being fun.
Can we talk about this? We were going to record it at your house.
Yeah.
And then you didn't want to because you were too intimidated to
I
have
didn't want Candy
in
Clark.
your house.
Well, I also have a 19-year-old dog that would just be barking the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't want her to.
Yeah.
I don't want her to know where I live in case there's like a stalker situation happening.
Sure.
But mostly, I didn't want her to see a dirty house.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Her loss.
American Graffiti 2. She can come over to my house. Yep.
Well, everyone, thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week. Next week, another really good one.
Cameron Crowe.
Oh, boy. All right, bye. Thanks for listening to Hey That's Me, a commentary podcast. This has been a That Was Just So Funny production. Your hosts have been Patrick Ottner and Brian Lynch. You can find out more about the show at heythat'smepod.com or on social media at heythat'smepod. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/commentary, where you can find out about guests early, submit questions for us to ask on the show, or even do a commentary to your own favorite movie with me. Our music was by Alex Peabody, and our art was by Abigail Noy. Special thanks to Annalise Nelson and the Burbank Podcast Studio. Be sure to leave us a review on iTunes or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Please, tell your friends about this show.